everybody, and thank you for joining us here at Crow for another segment of Wildlife Wednesday. I'm Rachel, and today we're going to be going down to the hospital to meet up with one of Crow's certified wildlife rehabbers, Morgan. You might remember her from a couple of our other segments regarding feather imping. Well, today she's going to be discussing about baby birds. So here at Crow, we do treat quite a lot of baby birds each year, and part of what's important about our work is successfully identifying different agings in the babies. This is not only important for you all as finders if you happen to come across a baby bird, but it's also helpful for us when determining what the feeding schedule and treatment plan will be for these patients.
Hi, my name is Morgan, and I'm a certified wildlife rehabilitator here at Crow. And thank you for joining us for today's Wildlife Wednesday. Today I'm going to be talking to you about baby bird care. It is the season for baby birds, and we see a lot at this time of the year. We most commonly see northern mockingbirds, mourning doves, blue jays, and common grackles. The reasons we see them in are most likely they've fallen from their nest. A lot of times these babies will become injured, in which you can contact our first response desk and even send pictures to see if they actually are injured or not. Also, if they have fallen from their nest, they might not need immediate help. These guys are known as fledglings. They jump from their nest and run around on the ground, being cared for by their parents until they're big enough to fly. And I will go through with what a fledgling looks like later on.
Morgan, quick question for our audience. I know that I was told pretty frequently when I grew up around here that if you touched a baby bird after it fell from the tree that the parents wouldn't want it anymore. Is that true?
That's actually a myth. Baby birds and other birds in general don't have that great sense of smell, so if you touch a baby bird, yes, please put on gloves just to help with the contact, but it is a myth that if you touch them, the parents will reject them. Alright, so I just pulled out a nestling common grackle, and you can tell it's a nestling because it still has its pin feathers coming in. He's very naked in certain spots. He does have the little feather fluffs on the top of his head. He's gaping, which also shows that he's a baby, and he can't stand up at this time, so you can see that he sits in a nest.
Hey Morgan, what exactly is a pin feather?
So the pin feather is where the tips of the feathers come out of their bone or out of their wing or their body, and they haven't fully popped out of their feather shaft yet. So they're still kind of developing, still in that white stage of where it's being held together by the shaft, the feather shaft, and then at some point they do expand and become the feathers that you see in adults.
So as a nestling, they're still being provided care completely by their parents. They're not on their own at all yet.
Nope, not at all. They can't fend for themselves. They don't know how to stand up, so they definitely do not know how to eat on their own. Alright, and now I'm pulling out a northern mockingbird fledgling. This little guy may look like still a baby because of his size. However, he is a fledgling and would not be in a nest at this age. He stands upright. He has baby feathers that are growing out their wings. So unlike the nestlings, you do not see those feather shafts. He has a very short tail, but it is still growing. Now at this age, they do make short flights, probably low bushes, low tree limbs, but they are learning how to hunt and be on their own. Parents will still care for them at this age and feed them periodically and care for them as far as predators go, so they do not need to come into our hospital if you find a baby bird at this, unless it is seriously injured or you really think it's been abandoned and you talk to us.
So what if, in terms of serious injuries, what would an injury look like if it were on a baby bird after it fell from the tree and hurt itself?
So a lot of the injuries that we see with baby birds are a lot of times broken wings. You could have a broken leg. Also, we have predator attacks. So if it's been in the mouth of a dog or a cat, it definitely needs to come in to get antibiotics and be seen by our veterinarians.
And with a fledgling, you said the parents are somewhat taking care of it. So let's just say if someone tries to renest a fledgling, is there a chance that it might end up on the ground again?
Absolutely. So fledglings at this age will not be in the nest, but you can always make a makeshift nest using a small bucket or a small strawberry bin or anything that has holes in the bottom for rainwater. You can put it up in the nest or the tree or a low bush nearby, put the baby inside of it, and if the baby jumps out on its own, then that means it's a fledgling. And at that point, it will run on the ground, again, fly in small bushes, but the parents are still nearby keeping watch.
And approximately how long will a baby be fledging until the finder can be certain that it's able to be out on its own completely?
So it is species specific. Certain fledglings take longer and have more parental care. So in that case, it's better just to call us and we can talk about the species. But in general, fledglings will be about a few weeks on the ground until they're fully flighted. All right, and in this cage, we're feeding some baby blue jays. Now these guys, again, are fledglings, so they're able to branch, they're able to fly short distances, they have very small wings, small tail, and you can see that they're all gaping. Now we do feed a very specific diet to our baby birds. Each fledgling is very specific, so we make sure we know what species we're feeding.
So it is important to feed them the correct things. If somebody finds a baby and they feed it, can that actually be bad for the birds in the long run?
It can. So here again, we do a lot of research and we know which species eat what at what times of the year. So a lot of times people might have good intentions in finding a baby bird and feeding it what they read online, but it can also cause issues. It can cause soft bones to form incorrectly. It can cause feather growth or poor feather growth quality. It can cause other issues with their skin. So it's just really important that if you find a baby bird, call us immediately. Do not feed it. Give it water, and just give us a call and we'll help you walk through what to do.
So what kinds of things were you feeding the blue jays?
So they get a wide variety because they are omnivores, so they eat fruits, vegetables, seeds, berries, and insects. So we do a whole mixture of different things to make sure they're getting everything.
And how long, with all of these babies that you take care of in the bird nursery of the hospital, about how long will they stay inside before they get moved outside into our rehab enclosures?
So again, with the baby birds, it is species specific. Some do take a longer care than others. Blue jays specifically, they have a very long parental care out in the wild, so we do keep them longer than other species, but on average, we will keep them about the length of time that it takes for them to fledge until they move outside, which can be about a month depending on.
Thank you, Morgan, for sharing all of that wonderful information with us down at the hospital. And again, if you enjoyed what you learned about today on Wildlife Wednesday regarding baby birds, please feel free to click the donate button above or continue to share all this information via our social media pages. Have a good day.